So again, my name is Stefannie Powell, and I'm the Executive Director for Branch 15. And we are a local ministry that ministers to women who are coming out of drug and alcohol rehab, out of human trafficking, out of incarceration, domestic violence, those type situations. That's our clientele. So women who are struggling and hurting, they can come live in one of our properties that we have. We have a 12-month program and an 18-month program. And so while they're there, they learn how to budget their money wisely. They learn how to not be codependent. They learn healthy boundaries. They learn how to say no in appropriate ways. They learn how to say yes when it's right. It's a sisterhood. They really do kind of come together and learn how to have a healthy and productive family, which I get to be the leader of. I put the fun in dysfunctional. And so while they're there, they have to get jobs. So their first job when they get there is to get a job. They're required to work 35 plus hours a week. We have some job partnerships. We tell them you get a job until the job comes along, because nobody's really going to be able to support themselves on minimum wage. I don't care where you live. Food still costs money. And so we tell them to get a job until you get the job. And so we have some job partnerships, employment partnerships with people who are the minimum wage, IHOP, Sonic, that kind of thing. And then once they've been there a while and they've kind of mellowed out, they're not quite so emotional, they don't cry every day, then we start connecting them with some partnerships where it's the job. So then we're starting to look at sustainable wages where they're making 10, 12, 15. I've had girls graduate making $25 an hour.
Awesome.
And so they go in, because our girls come from a past where they've got all this tainted baggage. They work really hard and they want to prove to you that they can work really hard. They know and are fully aware that they have to be better than the one without the felony record.
Right.
And so they really work hard. So they're required to get a job. We are a faith-based ministry, and so they're required to attend church once a week. And we don't tell them you have to go to this specific church, but it is a Christian church that meets our tenets of faith and doctrine. If somebody comes in and they're already involved in church and it doesn't necessarily meet our tenets, that's fine. They can still attend. We're not going to tell them you can't go to your church, but to meet the requirements, you still have to go to one of our services. And a list of churches this long. They are required to go to a faith-based recovery group of some sort. And then every Monday night, right now, they are all sitting in class and they're learning about rejection. That's amazing. Rejection. It's all the stuff we want to talk about. But on Monday nights, that's where they're really learning these new life systems and how to think differently. And so they're learning what rejection is and what rejection is not. They're learning what healthy boundaries are and what they're not. They're learning what safe people are and what they're not. And so they're learning all these new ways of thinking. And that's where our program really kind of cements and begins to change the thought process, because if you change the thinking, what comes next? The actions. And so they're really learning to do life differently. And it's a lot of fun to watch. It is a ton of fun to watch. So they go to church, they have to work. Once they've been there about 3 months or so, we have a ministry partner called Stand in the Gap. And what they are is they're simply just a mentoring ministry. So of the properties that we have, there will be anywhere from 8 to 13 women living in a home with one of our staff members. And I have incredible staff members, but they're outnumbered. I mean, just like, if you have more than one kid, you're outnumbered, okay? So it takes a village, right? So Stand in the Gap Ministries comes alongside of us, and they do mentoring really, really well. And so if it ain't broken, don't fix it. So rather than trying to recreate the wheel, we just said, why don't we partner together? We'll outsource, okay? If you're familiar with that term, outsourcing, we're going to outsource this to you. So Stand in the Gap, they surround this one client with 3 to 4 women just for the sole purpose of mentorship. They love her right where she's at. They don't take care of her. They don't pay her bills. They don't bail her out. They meet twice a month for about an hour and a half. They spend some time praying together, thinking together, problem solving together. A lot of our clients, they don't know some of the basic things like how to mop a floor. And so they kind of help educate them on how to take care of a home, how to take care of a car. If you don't change your own oil, which most people don't these days, how do you find a reputable person to take it to? Those kind of things. So they just help them learn some of those life skills that they didn't learn as kids. And so those women come alongside, mentor them and love on them, and then help them propel into life and have some time during transition where they're not alone once they leave branch and are kind of out on their own. So there's some overlap there. Man, I love what I do. I love what I do. To see the women make some changes and to, at the end of that 12 or 18 months, never need us again or never need anybody like us again, that's the goal. That's the goal. And then to get them to come back and re-engage and to be mentors and to serve right where they came from and to do all those things. We are a ministry that we only house women right now. A lot of them do have kiddos that we help and we work with, whether it's DHS or the family or whatever, to reunite that family when they move out. And so we've seen over the last 8 months, a mom with not a mom with 15 kids, but moms, women with an additional 15 children reunite, and they're living on their own. They've got apartments and rent houses and things like that, and they're not depending on unhealthy relationships to take care of them. And so that's Branch 15. That's what we do. That's what's going on in your city. Have any of you ever heard of Branch 15 before tonight? A couple of you, but the rest of you haven't. So when you hear about this, what does it do for you to be a part of Oklahoma City and know this is going on? Does it excite you?
Yeah.
Do you need coffee? Do you provide coffee at this thing? I mean,
Coffee downstairs.
coffee downstairs.
But it's too late.
There's a break later.
Yeah.
Not looking at that. And so these are the things, and we have a lot of partnerships with other like-minded people who are doing the same thing that we're doing. There's a lot going on in our city to help marginalized women. There's a lot going on to help marginalized men because we're finding that life's not hard for just women. Okay, life's hard for men, life's hard for families, and there's a lot going on to help minister to them and love on them and get them all to a place of being able to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. Do we do questions and answers or anything like that? I mean,
Does anybody have a question?
Yes, sir.
Do you only deal with felons?
No, we have a wide variety of people. And so we've got women who have master's degrees, and we've got women who barely made it through 6th grade, and everything in between.
Because we do a lot of stuff with women, teaching them self-defense and stuff.
Cool. Call me. We have somebody, we've had people come in and do that. A lot of our women in that place of survival, okay, and so when your brain is in survival mode, you don't retain knowledge, you don't retain information. We can have a conversation, I can look you right in the eye and talk to you, and then a week later look at you and go, remember when we talked about such and such? No. And they really don't.
Wow.
Because survival brain, it just does not work. And so once they kind of come out of survival brain and we can start teaching them skills and they start standing up a little bit better, that's when we start doing some self-defense and stuff after they've kind of come down off survival mode. Because when they're in survival mode, they're not about fight or flight, they're just about fight. Mm-hmm. So we don't want to give them the skills to fight until we've given them some other skills to learn how to steward that well. We made that mistake a couple of times and learned some great valuable lessons through how not to do things. But we've had people do that, and they've moved out of state and all that stuff, so we don't have anybody anymore. And I love that because we do our very best to do some holistic things. So we do meal prepping and meal planning and that kind of thing with them. It's not just mental health stuff. We do budgeting. We have an individual service plan where we evaluate like 12 areas of their life. And we start working the process and working the problems and coming to some solutions. So, excellent, thank you. Yes, ma'am?
How long have y'all been around, and do you have information on your...
Yes, I do. We have, we opened the doors in Edmond in October of 2013. If you are familiar with Life Church, Amy Groeschel, one of the co-founding pastors of Life Church, she founded Branch 15. And so we were over in Edmond in 2013. And then in 2016, we made the leap over to Bethany. When we were in Edmond, we had a house for 3 girls, and man, we were killing it. Thought it was awesome. And then we moved over to Bethany, and we had a house that could fit 8 girls. Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? We've got 8 girls. And so now we have 3 properties and 24 girls. We're expanding into Western Oklahoma. As soon as that's kind of stable, I've got enough applications where we could open up another 3 houses. If somebody wants to donate a house, there's stuff to go in it. And so some of those kind of things. So we're, unfortunately, there's a great need out there. We received 12 applications on Friday alone. And so every week I sign 5 to 10 letters that say, sorry, no room in the inn. Just because we just don't have the room. So, yeah, and I do have some information, absolutely. Yes, sir.
What are your, like, other than if you just happen to have a house, like, kind of top 3 unmet needs? Is it time, money, like, stuff, like just groceries, or
All that.
like...
Great question. So our top 3 needs will always be, number 1, prayer. So if you're a praying person, everybody can do that. If you're not a praying person, send some cool vibes. I'll take that too. The second thing we need is people. For every 1 girl, we need 3 to 4 mentors. Okay? So ladies, if you're as a mentoring team, you don't even have to do mentoring one-on-one. You can do a mentor team. Guys, you know, I don't want to be all stereotypical and all, but I always need something fixed. I mean, these lights, I almost lost my faith one night trying to fix one of those. I mean, I see a hole in the wall and I'm like, I know how to fix that. So there's, you know, lawn work, painting, all that kind of stuff. Always need some of those things done. So we need prayer, we need people, and money. We need money. But we have probably 25 different kind of ways that you can volunteer. Anything you could possibly imagine. You'd be surprised how much toilet paper 24 women can go through, because we get on the same cycle of things in life, and we go through a lot of toilet paper. So if you want to place an order at Amazon and have it on auto ship, toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, trash bags forever. I feel like I go to Sam's all the time for trash bags. So there's always a lot of things to do. And in addition to all of that, do you have a gift or a talent that you're like, I don't know, maybe the branch could use this? Because, like, I'm not an interior decorator. I mean, I think plaid and polka dots go great together. I mean, thank you. Regardless of the color, I think it all goes great. And so, you know, if you just want to come in and be like, this is pitiful, you know, do something, please come in and do it for me. Those kind of things. So there's, sorry, there's always things that need to be done. info@branch15.org. You can email there. I've got some flyers. I don't choke to death. But I've got some flyers, and so all our information, phone number, all that stuff's on there. So yeah, great question.
You guys give it up for Stefannie. So I just want to say, you know, Megan and I both have a real heart for our city, and we want to make sure that people have resources, and not necessarily that Branch 15 is anything for you, but it's a way for you to get involved. Megan and I believe in supporting that, sober living, you know, women that need things, men that need things. So if you guys have, you know, want some more information, please make sure to talk to Stefannie. And Becca, thank you so much for introducing us to Stefannie. Really appreciate it. She's one of my friends, and she's like, hey, you need to talk to Stefannie. So we did that.